August is over. This video is coming out a little later than I'd like, just because work and uni really just took over this past week. But I still wanted to talk about some of my favourite releases from a month which really delivered on the hype front. Big month for music nerds. Just like July's video, I do really want to get into this, but firstly I want to shout out some tracks that I loved from albums that I didn't. The list of albums that King Gizzard has dropped is slowly growing to mythical proportions. Flight B741 isn't entirely my cup of tea, but the 2-track run of Hog Calling Contest and Lyrisk is a banger. The new Beabadoobee is basically a little worse than her last album in every way, but the singles Take a Bite and Ever Seen both deserve their praise, I think. I really couldn't get into the new Your Arms Are My Cocoon record, but even I have to admit that Let's Get Married is a fantastic opener. Mori Calliope is getting better, which is nice. Still not great, but I at least get the appeal now. Check out Don't Mai for the project's peak, in my opinion. I'm planning on talking more about Post Malone's new stuff in an upcoming video, but I'll just say here that I Had Some Help is pretty good, actually, despite where he got the help from. And Sabrina Carpenter drops an easy listening project. Again, planning on talking about it soon, but Espresso and Taste are actually very much deserving of the praise. Not Please Please Please, though. Alright, done. Now on to the proper list. Still not really a JPEG Mafia fan. The thing is, I find my metric for whether or not I'm a fan of something is usually relative to the opinions of the people I interact with. Like that James Blake Lil Yachty collab album, which I still really like for the most part. It seemed like it disappointed quite a few people who were hyped up for it, so as a result, I feel like more of a fan. That rule kind of applies in reverse to JPEG Mafia. I think he's pretty good. That's about it. All My Heroes Are Cornballs and LP are great, and this new project's probably on par with Scaring the Host for me, which is to say, yeah, pretty good. I just don't know if I think a lot of it is that captivating outside of the initial holy shit response. This new project is really well made though, particularly on an emotional level. Peggy seems more open than he's ever been, and it leaves a lot on the table, particularly on a crushing final leg of the project. I think the Vince Staples and Denzel Curry features are fantastic too. Denzel made sense, of course, but Vince is so far removed from Big Fish theory at this point that I'm surprised to hear him on anything far removed from his lane. Overall, I Lay Down My Life For You is a pretty interesting listen, with a lot of great tracks. It won't convert the unconverted, but if you're looking for particularly interesting production, there's always been one specific dude to go to. Parannoul Sweep Again, baby! Album of the Year came out August 3rd. This was honestly better than I ever could have hoped. Look, I like After the Magic a lot. After the Night was great, but Sky 100 is the one, man. It's a return to the more abrasive mixing style present on To See the Next Part of the Dream, previously my favourite Parannoul project. But Sky 100 just maintains the lessons and production talents he picked up over the subsequent years. I'm just so happy that it lived up to my expectations. It's easy to be disappointed when you've enjoyed so much of an artist in the past, and I've found that my judgment can be clouded by the fact that, you know, an artist isn't making the exact same thing that I already loved. But this was always perfect, really. And I've listened to it a ton over the past month, soaking in the expansive soundscapes and letting the glorious climaxes give me life. Stunning album. If you haven't heard it for whatever reason, it is absolutely worth the experience. Yeah, this was cute. R&B isn't always a genre that I fully get. For one thing, it's important to unwind when listening to a lot of the time, I think, and I'm not typically a relax and unwind guy. But I'm a fan of great vocalists, and I'm a fan of great melodies, and Bird's Eye contains both in spades, as Raven Lenae glides over these beats in a glorious way. Genius was an immediate standout to me as an opener, with that fantastic grooving bass line propelling the track forwards. And Love Me Not was an excellent choice for a single, instrumentally lush and an excellent earwormy hook that is actually repeated more than like 2 times. This album is fundamentally just sweet. Nice, easy listening. If you don't feel like thinking too hard, Bird's Eye is the perfect August release for you.
A lot of people that I meet tell me about their dreams and how they wish they could attain them, even though it seems like it's not a probability. Be nicer to yourself, show humility. While you compare yourself to
This is the one that Logic fans have been waiting for. Not me, really. I actually didn't know too much about Logic before now. Fear was a banger lead single with a great video, so I was excited and all, but it was only in diving through Logic's discography recently that I understood what exactly about Ultra 85 got long-time fans so excited. The rule I found throughout Logic's career is that the more positive the vibes are, the better the album is, which sounds obvious, I guess. But I actually think it's pretty representative of what Logic is actually good at as a musician. Maybe there was this point at which he wanted to be someone who could show off, have an ego, air his grievances with audiences. But the problem is that it's not original, and he's actually a lot worse at it than his contemporaries, which is my most common complaint amongst his worst projects. Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, Young Sinatra 4, the Bobby Tarantino tapes. But this, Ultra 85, this is him. This is who he is, I think. It's genuine, and being genuine makes me care. It's not my favourite project of his. Final Days still hits harder as what seems like a love letter to the best of hip-hop, but it might be his most authentic. The rapping is good, the production is great, but most of all, I've never found myself cheering Logic on as much as I am now.
She loves me not. I'll find you in another's eyes. The promise of another life, cool, but what's on the other side? With whom you gonna trust the hour?
Really solid abstract hip-hop from a genre that continues to be pretty hit or miss for me. If I had to give one theme to this video, it would be projects proving me wrong. Despite the praise for this release, I didn't really expect much from it, and while it doesn't necessarily bowl me over, Mavi is clearly a very talented guy, and the emotional atmosphere created throughout this album should really connect with a lot of people. In a bad way, can someone get Mavi some therapy? There's just overall a lot of really brilliant production elements that keep you engaged with what he's saying, and that goes a long way to selling the whole project. Favourite track is probably The Giver, with a piano line that could honestly just work as an instrumental piece on its own. It's that gorgeous. But Mavi's performance is still important, and the story about non-reciprocal love interests really hits home. Shadowbox is a great hip-hop project, and between this and Let the Sun Talk, Mavi is proving himself a pretty underrated artist. Friendship ended with first Magdalena Bay album. Second Magdalena Bay album is my new best friend. Seriously, there's something about them. They can't miss. The duo of Mika Tenenbaum and Matthew Lewin have been producing some of the best pop music of the 2020s, and if you've been missing out, then you should stop missing out. Listen to it right now. Go. Pause this and listen to it. Please remember to come back though. It's interesting to me that Magdalena Bay are receiving such unequivocal praise though, because what they're doing is harder than it looks. Imaginal Disc is a bombastic album. It does a lot of things, but being laid back or more intimately crafted is not one of them. It stands to reason that a decent chunk of people would be likely to find them annoying, and of course those people still exist, but for the most part, love is universal. Love is everywhere, you could say. Imaginal Disc is an elite record, one of the best of the year so far. Its endlessly infectious bounce will leave you begging for more, and the good news is that they don't seem like stopping anytime soon. Have you ever listened to something that makes you feel like jackhammering every construction building in America? Look, it's hard to sell anyone on Melt Banana, either you like them or you don't. And I get the divisiveness, obviously. Anyone who sounds like Yasuke Oniki is gonna filter some people out. Thankfully, I'm firmly in the Melt Banana for Life camp, and I think they've made some of the best and most exciting noise rock ever over the last 25 years. There's really just not a lot to say about this one. Just like the rest of their last 5 records, 3+5 is awesome. And as a really quick listen at just over 24 minutes, there's no reason to not give them a go. Wait, is that why it's called 3+5? Because they've got 3 bad albums and 5 good ones?
Did you know I can claim the dreamer from the dream? Make it feel.
I'm getting there. I just still don't get Skinty Fear. It's fine, perfectly serviceable indie rock, but nowhere near reaching the appraisal it gets from most people in my opinion. That's why I was so shocked when I immediately got the hype for their new project Romance. Starburster and Favourite are brilliant. Starburster's chilling delivery and overwhelming atmosphere is designed to boot you up the arse, and Favourite is an emotionally compelling ode to youth with a just perfect guitar line. And while I don't think the album overall lives up to those 2 specific singles, it's still pretty good. I still don't find them particularly interesting performance-wise, but the instrumentation here is generally really well made, and the overall progression of the project to get from Romance and Starburster to Favourite is a really intelligent piece of tracklist design. A good LP on the whole. Maybe I'll finally check out the rest of Fontaine DC's work. Or not.
don't even feel it. It's a cry fight from bad radios. The day's been playing football.
That's it for now. I think I only had 8 projects for this month. I just didn't keep up as much. I really slacked on them, particularly in the last week, the August 30th releases. Uni's picking up. I've got a bunch of assignments due over the next few weeks. So while I do have a video planned talking about the pop music of 2024 as a whole, it may or may not come out this month, or it may come out next month. Who knows? We'll figure it out. But until then, thank you for watching another video. Appreciate your time. Subscribe and like and stuff. I hate saying that shit. I'm never going to do it again. Anyway, peace out.